I will be song. I will be animate. I will be bloody. Done. Second death incarnate. Solemn voice of the end. Hear ye billion children. Behold the Armageddon moon. A dire proclamation sung by the only worthy one. I will be sung. I will be animate. I will be bloody. Done. Second death incarnate. Solemn voice of the end. Hear ye billion children. Behold the Armageddon man. A dire proclamation sung by the only worthy one. I will be sung. I will be animate. I will be bloody. Done. Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. And I don't know if you remember, I told you a long time ago, years ago, American English is shite English. I shan't ever speak it again. We must be better than that. A personal opinion of mine. I don't expect any American to share it. Not that America was ever really a country, except maybe around World War II, where we did that one good thing. What we really were was a bunch of people with samurai swords in our hands, chopping each other's heads off for an extra crown. And if you manage to break through the ceiling and become one of the, I don't know, multi-centered millionaires and above, then you get into this whole other world of like touching children and Satan and the Freemasonic Lodge and controlling the world, because having a lot of money and bitches and hoes and boats and hoes and cars and not having to worry about paying your bills and be able to actually enjoy life, like some people get to do, a small fraction of humanity, at the exploitation of the rest of us, of course. It must be nice. So that's what America really has always been. I mean, look at these idiots competing with each other to be the first trillionaire. Who has the best yachts? Who has the most yachts? Who has a yacht for their yacht? It has to end, son. This country was never anything but a greed pit. I'm sorry. Yes, we did that one good thing in World War II. I admit that. That's a beautiful thing America did. Getting rid of the madmen only for their sons and daughters to vote for the same madman in orange face and make their sacrifice for naught. What they essentially did was just hand the world, the greatest empire, Rome, and the world over to Adolf Hitler. That's what they've done. And they're proud of it. They did it with their chest out. Very strongly. That's why it's over. You made your grandfather's great-grandfather's sacrifice for goddamn nothing. Only for your worthless ass to not take it seriously and hand the keys right over their dead body to a madman just like Adolf Hitler, who has ended this country and will end the world. It's what Adolf would have done had not America gotten involved. Europe was beaten. Russia was getting beaten. So America did that one good thing. And no, I'm not giving America credit for all of it by any means. I'm giving America credit for surging 1 million troops into it and winning it with the Allies, the Europeans, the Russians, etc. That's what America gets credit for, even though it was very late. This time, since that time, since 1945, the right-wing machine in this country has been building the Reich again. That's all you've seen. Not one bit of exaggeration there. Same movement, just called right-wing politics in America, instead of Nazism in Germany. Same thing. It's led us directly here. Like I said, the liberals only joined in the end. They only took the check at the end. That's why they're voting for surveillance. That will help round them up. So Hitler would have destroyed the world as well, lest America jumped in and, with the Allies, defeated Hitler. Hitler has risen again, the same demon that was in Adolf is in Donnie. The same exact one. Instead of storming the beaches of Normandy, as your grandfathers did, and your great-grandfathers, you hand the keys to Adolf Hitler. That is your goddamn doom. It's an insult to every one of you who have a relative in the past that died defeating Hitler. You might as well have spit, piss, and shat upon their fucking grave. That's if you can find it, if they weren't, sunk in the fucking Pacific or Atlantic or God knows fucking where, shot down in a plane. They could still be in a hole now, their body, never discovered. In other words, that's if they were found, catalogued, and buried and returned to your family. Many soldiers and their families did not get that opportunity. Just, we never heard from them again. The army assumes they're dead somewhere. Sorry. That's what a lot of military families get. Never even knowing where their loved one died, what happened to them, anything. Just gone. And their government says, oh well, we don't know. Missing in action, presumed dead. Sorry, here's a folded triangular flag representing Freemasonry and Satan. That's why it's in the triangle shape. Literally. Astounding. Your great-grandfathers died so you could have the shitty, greed-filled life you had. And you weren't speaking German and doing Nazi salutes. Because if Hitler were allowed to continue, that's what America would be right now. And funny enough, it is. Because geriatric cunts decided to carry on the religion of Nazism in South Africa and here, called right-wing politics. Let's be honest about what it's always been, son. You seem to enjoy what's going on right now. That proves my goddamn point, doesn't it? Must have saw something you liked. Find your grandfather or great-grandfather's grave that died in World War II and go take a shite upon it. That may even be less offensive than you giving the keys to Adolf Hitler himself. After that great-grandfather died, so you could have your shitty life. Just to hand it over. Anyway, let me begin with the end of the world. Vocaholic has been pointing out lately the effects of climate. They obviously live over in the United Kingdom somewhere. And they point out quite often what's going on there. They're having quite unusual heat events. It is not supposed to be fucking hot in the UK. Ever. They get one day of summer, it's cold and shitty and rainy the rest of the year. That's it. Now thousands of people are dying a week across Europe. Because they're not set up for this like America is. They're not used to the heat. I told you before, that area of the world, for the most part, it's mostly cool all year round. They get a brief summer and back to cool again. So they don't have an air conditioning unit in every window. They never built their society that way. They didn't have to. It wasn't necessary. Now they're dying. Things are just catching on fire. It's ridiculous. I have one thing here. I didn't want to read them all. There's too many. Romania has declared an energy emergency as severe drought sends the Danube to critically low levels. Do you see there's drought all over the world right now? And they haven't hesitated to put up more data centers. Do you think maybe the data centers contributed to the drought, since there's about 10,000 of them on Earth right now? I would say yes. Maybe that was the intent. Maybe they're trying to speed things along for a purpose. In fact, I know they are. It's obvious they wouldn't be doing this otherwise. They think they'll be safe in their bunkers. No, they will be begging the rocks to fall on them, that they may not have to face the wrath of the Lord. That's what will happen. I know their future. They do not. They hope for a humanity-enslaved dystopia reminiscent of the novel 1984. That's what they're looking for. And to live like gods off of it. And hide in their bunkers once they've accelerated the collapse of this planet, which obviously they're trying to do. No, Mr. Zuckerberg, your future, I assume, you'll retreat to a bunker at some point when the shit hits the fan, like Leon, like others. No, sir. It won't be paradise. It will be you begging the rocks to fall upon you, that you may not face the wrath of an entity called the Lamb. Don't let the name fool you. He can turn entire battlefields into fucking blood. And he will. And he will have all of you cunts in your bunkers. This is your literal future. Begging the rocks to fall upon you. Because that's how terrible the wrath of the Lord will be. I know they taught Nicene Jesus. Jesus was only nice because he was here to do something. And he knew his empire was coming later. And that's when he would have sanction to do these other things. He knew that. And he was patient, and he served, and he fulfilled his mission, totally, utterly, and completely. Now he will come back and kill goddamn everyone. And it will be so fucking terrible. You will have the richest people on earth begging rocks to fall on them so they may hide further from it. While their greatest fear is the end of this life, they have paradise here. Their greatest fear is that it ends. They know what happens then. They know what they've done. Anyway, I need to read this. Both reactors at the Cernavodă nuclear plant are now being shut down because there isn't enough river water for the plant's cooling system. Together, the two reactors normally supply around 20% of Romania's electricity. What did I tell you, children? 10 years every now and then, and I just told you again recently. There are nuclear power plants all over the world. If we get to a point, I didn't look at it this way via drought. I looked at it more as the grid. No electricity. Because these things need power too. For cooling and other things. So if the grid goes down for the world, or a section of it, for 6 months, a year, all those nuke plants in that facility, unless emergency help and aid and materials are brought to keep them cool, which I doubt would happen, they would melt down. Whenever you hear they have to shut a plant down, that's the last fucking thing they want to do. Ever. So it's a big deal when they do. And my first question, little children, I know you have no idea. When I hear a plant's being shut down forever or for temporarily, I get real worried. And the first question that comes to my mind is, are they going to be able to keep the rods and cores cool while it's shut down? They don't have a lot of water in this situation, so I don't know how they would keep the rods and cores cool. There is a pool where I believe spent fuel rods are. That water's contaminated for all goddamn eternity, by the way. That's got to go somewhere. You know, something the size of a few Olympic swimming pools. Way deeper. Full of fucking fuel rods. That are kicking rads off. Like pop fucking corn. That water is ruined for all fucking time in that pool. That has to go somewhere, children. So that's 20% of Romania's electricity. That's 2 nuclear power plants. I hate to hear that. Whenever I hear it, I know there's a lot more going on than what I'm reading. And I always think immediately, can they keep it cool? Because it doesn't sound like they'll be able to, unless they bring water from somewhere else. Could many of the plants... Son, do you hear me? I'm so glad I read this now. I didn't fully grasp it. There's drought on most of the planet right now. Data centers are helping that out, and they've been helping that out for 20 years. Obviously, they've helped get us to this almost complete planetary drought. Maybe it was even intentional, for a purpose. To get society to a certain place in a quicker time frame. Due to desperation. Could you imagine, as they steal more water, as the sun steals more water, as the planet gets hotter, as more and more entities fight over the water, farmers, data centers, nuclear power plants, other various industries that need a shit ton of water, golf courses, that's really important. Use a shit fuck ton of water. That's not enough. I didn't look at it this way, though. Almost every nuke plant is water-cooled. So if this drought problem continues and major areas do not have water, major rivers, whatever, wherever the water comes from for that specific nuke plant, wherever it is, because it usually is by a body of water, polluting the fuck out of it, pulling the water in, running it through its system, it gets superheated to like 1,000,000 fucking degrees because of the rads in the facility. It cools all that. Pumped back out somewhere, utterly sterilized. In water, I don't know if you know, there's all kinds of life inside that we can't see. That is now dead and stripped. So even that process of sucking millions of gallons in through a system to cool a complex, that water's taking the heat from the complex into itself and moving it away from the complex. So that it's like it's being boiled to the 10th degree and then returned to the environment. Utterly sterilized. Even that process alone does unimaginable damage to the planet. let alone the radiation leakage and the rods and the cores that have to be disposed of eventually. Cost billions of dollars. The fuel pool water has to be disposed of. Spent rods, all of it, kicking rads off for the rest of fucking time. That must go somewhere, little children. Could you imagine multiple nuclear plants across the world simply running out of water? The data centers are more important, aren't they? Obviously. Could you imagine? That's a backdoor way I didn't expect. We're looking at it right now. It's already happened at one location. That provides up to 20% of a country's electricity. That's bad. So they lose that capacity, which is a lot of people, by the way, 20% of a country. Then there's the cooling aspect again. Are they going to be able to keep it cool without fucking water? If you shut it down, you can still keep it cool without water? When I hear plants are getting shut down, I get worried, son. There's always more to the story. And this could become trend. A nice surprise in the apocalypse I did not see coming. Drought causing, it makes perfect logical sense. I didn't think of it though. Drought causing meltdowns of nuclear plants because they can't get water to cool them. Oh my God. Already happening in Romania. I sure hope they can keep the plant cool without fucking water. Another flock excerpt. We're not going to read every detail of every article. We know what it is. Every one officer represents 1,000 more that have not been caught. That's why I read these to you. Also to show you majority use. I am not reading article after article of flocks saving people's lives, saving all the kidnapped children, saving the people that are getting sex trafficked, all of it. No, zero. The majority of the information I see, which makes it appear that majority use is law enforcement stalking people illegally. Heidi Taylor, 52, was arrested by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation on Wednesday and booked into the Paulding County Jail on 2 misdemeanor counts of misuse of a license plate reader system from 2024 to 2025. Again, she represents 1,000 more at least. Thousands more. A trend is developing where the officers resign before they get fired. And then it's not announced that they were fired because they were caught misusing. What gets announced is there was an investigation into several officers and they've resigned. That's becoming the trend now. So I'm still going, Mr. Langley. Can you stop looking in that little girl's window for a moment? I'm still going with majority uses to stalk people. And I know what eventual use will be to hunt people like me down. That the right considers the enemy. And kill or kidnap them. World War III. Looks like Iran hit the lottery again. And I knew these types of things are going on behind the scenes all the time. These countries are scared shitless. They don't want to get bombed. Donnie's paid them off through UAE and other actors 5 times to the tune of billions each time. Maybe Donnie wanted to get some boats through the strait. Maybe Donnie wanted Iran not to bomb something. That's the answer to everything. Give them more taxpayer money. Through Qatar, through UAE. You know where the money's coming from. It ain't coming from these countries. Fuck out of here. The UAE has released several $1 billion of Iran's frozen assets held in UAE banks, including 2 tons of gold. 2 tons, you bloody say. Worth $283 million. This is amazing. Iran is blowing shit up. They just blew more shit up today. And people are giving them billions of dollars in gold. Again, who's truly winning this situation here? I'm going to have to even smoke a fag now. I'm so impressed. And I'm so astounded. And contemplate this for a moment. Gold, 2 tons, you say? I thought they were defeated and we won and the strait's open. Why are they being paid off with 2 tons of gold if the strait's open? Jesus Christ, man. The entire Middle East, Bibi and Donnie are afraid to bomb Iran, and instead people are sending them billions of dollars and tons of gold. Okay. Well done. The assets? You mean the 2 tons of gold? were flown to Iran aboard a Boeing 737. I'm sure America had nothing to do with this. This is about the third or fourth time, and every time UAE pays off Iran, America paid the bill, okay? This is just their way of doing it without you showing up at the goddamn White House before the bunker's done with your fucking pitchforks and torches. That's simple. This bullshit UAE gave them. Get the fuck out of here. Their GDP is shite compared to ours. Shite. They are not giving 2 tons of gold and billions of dollars from their own bank accounts. That's coming from you, at least in part. I promise you that. And this is about to gain the third, fourth, fifth time. These are the deals that go on behind the scenes, while Donnie's yelling to the press how wonderful we're doing and how we won. And then there's Donnie hiding in food carts, willing to sacrifice the Ghoul, Scott Besant, Lil Marco, Monica Crowley, and an entire press pool, as if they were not shite. Made sure to take the diaper changer with him, though. Everyone else can fucking die. According to Donnie, I didn't say it, I didn't do it. He blamed it on the Secret Service, but we know that's bullshit. So they were flown by Royal Jet from Abu Dhabi to Tehran's airport and Karaja's Payam airport on August 11 and 12, each staying 1 hour before returning. You mean to offload the gold and payoff money that probably mostly came from the United States? Because UAE doesn't have this kind of money in frozen Iranian assets just sitting there. Get the fuck out of here. On June 8th, the same plane flew from Abu Dhabi to Tehran's Mehrabad, transferring $3 billion. Again. Cunts! These people are not only cowering because they're out of defensive missiles. America, Israel, Saudi, UAE, everyone, Jordan. They're not only cowering, they're showing up with tribute to the tune of billions and tons of gold. So who won, son? I think you know the bloody answer. The one who won, I'll give you a hint, is the one that just fucking collected 2 tons of gold. Jesus Christ. You know how to pick an abominable loser, liar, thief, and pedophile. Fuck. Give him the greatest military on earth, the greatest weapons. Several allies helping him, supplied with those weapons as well. Still fucking lost. Incredible. ICE is getting shock gloves because, you know, it wasn't a satanic dystopia enough. You know, shooting women in the face, shooting men in the back, macing old ladies for filming their crimes. It's just not enough. We need some truly dystopian science fiction nightmare Satan shit. That's what these gloves are. And the inventor of the gloves, if you're still alive, I just want to let you know, you will burn in goddamn fucking hell for all goddamn fucking eternity. That's a promise from the Lakeman. Playing the role of the Lakeman. For the true Lakeman is someone else, much grander than I. I'm making a point, goddammit. The true Lakeman will be by shortly to collect 2 fat fucks and throw them in the lake. That's the real Lakeman. I am merely playing a role. Because if ICE is physically putting their hands on you, that's not good enough. Apparently they need to shock you too. Right, the torture, the Satan, is the goddamn point! And it's why I constantly say, I fucking hate you. Got cunts, masked murderers that are now going to be equipped with some sci-fi Satan nightmare shock gloves. Fuck you and die, anyone who even thought of helping this along. How goddamn sad. This is my reality because of you. You know who you fucking are. Millions. May you rot in the fucking lowest, hottest level of fucking Hades there bloody is. Are we being dramatic? Are we overreacting? Now that the immune masked murderers will be walking around with shock fucking gloves. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't believe this is even reality. ICE is getting electric shock gloves. I guess it's tough to fight grannies, beat up women, and shoot Americans in the back. Right, that's all I've seen them do, and kidnap many people and traffic them, rape them, kill them, mace them, assault them. No other agency has the gloves or the masks. The reason ICE is the only law enforcement agency in masks is because they aren't there to enforce the law. Right, there's a reason immunity was there from second one. You're supposed to at least pretend. You don't send them out with full immunity. You let something happen. You let the first murder take place, which they planned and sent them out to do. And then you take it to court and you give them immunity from that point if you want to pretend you're sincere and not a cunt of Satan and a Nazi. And that you literally didn't send them out to kill people. So when you start with immunity from day one for your Mosque Gestapo murdering force, that lets the entire world know you told them behind closed doors, go out and murder. We will reward you. Just make sure you kill the right people. The immunity is how I know. Your Honor. And remember, Your Honor, man's law means goddamn nothing. You are just as responsible as the mosquemen if you allow them to do what they do. Never forget that, robed one. Robed and high. Not for long. Yes, you know, without the shock gloves, how can you beat up old ladies? How can you shoot men in the back with 10 of your friends? How can you shoot women in the face? How can you ram into their car and fill them full of holes and then try and put them in jail for the rest of their life to hide your attempted murder for bounty money? You realize that became trend and standard procedure, right, little children? They see a target that looks interesting. They run into the car. They don't care. It's a rental car. You're paying the goddamn bill, you fucking mark. Fill the person full of holes. Hopefully they die. They bring them in. They got their bounty. There's a reason we kept seeing that. The bounties will not be worth the lake. I suggest you take the mask off now that you'll see this, and turn the other way, and never look back. But I know you know better, son. I know. You got a nice condo out of it for the first time in your life, I know. You caught up with your child support, I know. It will cost you everything. I hope it was worth it. Last year, Trump tried to send kids alone to Guatemala in the middle of the night before judges halted him. But if there are no lawyers present, such 11th hour rescues become impossible. That appears to be the point. They are eliminating the competent lawyers, blah, 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 blah. They've been trying to eliminate little children being represented by lawyers in immigration court since they took over. I've been seeing that headline. You realize they're trafficking children and women, right? I noticed Abbott and DeSantis seem to know exactly how to do it. Straight away. Did you notice that? This little scheme, concentration camps, slave labor, private prisons which are concentration camps, which need to be full for rent money from the government, from you, asshole. You understand. ICE, all of it. It's human trafficking, you understand that. It's all it ever was. Now it's on steroids and Satan. Endless access to young women and children. Every one of you, every human on the planet, knows exactly where that goes. And there just happens to be badges and guns and cages involved. And very desperate prisoners that have no power. Do you think these pigs, these animals, would have access to endless amounts of little children and young women, and it wouldn't go there? My God, it's inevitable. It probably went there day one. Sending little children to Guatemala to die. Or to end up in one of their sex trafficking camps. Maybe that's why Donnie wanted them gone so bad. Maybe that's where they were going instead. Either way, Anticristo. He's the goddamn Antichrist. Every time I read one of these, it tells me that loud and clear again when I read shock fucking gloves. Do you doubt now you're in the fucking apocalypse? It's the end. He's the goddamn Antichrist. He's about to equip masked murderers, rapists, and pedophiles that he sends out to rape and kill and kidnap and attack the community. Just like Adolf Hitler sent out the brown shirts, same play, same book. He's going to put electrocution gloves on their hands. Like I said, you're in the dystopia now. You are in the end. You're in what's called the apocalypse. I don't want you to be or I to be. In fact, I despise you for it. This is not fun for me. I'm simply explaining your worthless fucking paradigm again for the 10 millionth time. You on the end. Shock gloves should fucking prove it to you. Women being shot in the face. Intentionally. That was the point. That was the moral of the incident before they walked out. But the shock gloves, my God, if anything should tell you, you're in a goddamn dystopian nightmare right fucking now. It should be that. If anything should tell you, he's the goddamn Antichrist, sending babies to Guatemala in the middle of the night, hoping a judge won't catch you. That's the goddamn devil. That's the goddamn Antichrist. Shock gloves. That's the devil. That's the Antichrist. That's the apocalypse. That's the fucking end of all. That's where you're at. That's simple. Tempe PD searched 198 flock networks for a suspicious vehicle because the registered owner had prior drug offenses, and it was seen leaving drug area. No crime cited, no driver ID'd, just the car, but enough to trigger suspicion. A perfect example, flock as mass surveillance. Right, the person didn't even commit a crime. Just tracked his location like they've done to so many. You were close to an area crime you may have committed. Let me surveil you. Again, one example of thousands more we don't know about yet. In this 1984 surveillance state utopia, or dystopia, excuse me. Utopia for the devil. Dystopia for us. This is Hunter Biden in an interview, and I'm wondering, when I read things like this, is he running for fucking president? Is that where this is going? He won't get that shot. He may run, but Donnie's not leaving, so. What Leon Scum did to U.S. aid with the complicity and direction of Trump is akin to genocide. No, it's not akin, it is. Look at every single study. By 2030, 4 million children under the age of 5 will be dead. They will be dead because we took away from them what we had found the funding for, what we had found the political will for, what we had found in alliance with the global community. Right, we can't help everyone, disingenuous cunts of Satan. I know that argument before your worthless ass makes it. But we can help some people. And we were helping those people. But Leon and Donnie are Nazis and the Ghoul and Pete Hegseth. And they want black people, Latin people, and everyone who's not white to die. And if you're white and liberal, well, they want you to die too. Their favorite is white gay male. Now, I thought of something today. And I need to talk about this again. One, Leon is evil as fuck, and he will burn in hell for the millions of children he just starved to death. And then where was I going? I forgot now. Oh, Rome. Rome. I gave you a speech a while, way back. Probably right before Donnie got back in. And I've talked about it throughout the years. In Rome, for men in the, I don't know what you would call it, middle class, elite, men of some success in society, it was compulsory. It was culture. It was what was done then. Almost as a way to show, like, I can indulge in anything because of my status in society, and I must, to show I am better than you. But what was it really? They were gay. It's that simple. More accurately, you could say bisexual, but these men, I really feel they're just gay. Their activities with women are more, they're for a different reason. So senators, congressmen, if you want to call them that, Caesars, elite men, they would sleep with both men and women. It was compulsory. It was what was done. It was how you were expected to act with children as well. Nothing was off limits. And it was compulsory. What do we have now? Many the top of the Reich, many elites across the world, gay or bisexual, and touching children. Not all, but many. In this movement, the specific Reich in this movement, almost all of them. So the hatred of women is because they're gay and they hate themselves. Their anger towards the world, they hate themselves because they're gay. But that's not the point I was making. Many gay people can just, accept what they are, and they enjoy what they are, and they live what they are, and they have no problem with it. Then there's the other kind of gay man, especially men. It's not manly to be gay. Society sees you a certain way. They know that. It bothers them. They don't want to be gay. They can't live with what they are. Like I said, that's not every gay man's story. Many are quite comfortable with what they are. Obviously. And they don't hate women. Not like these ones do. So again, we are New Rome. I want you to understand that. God makes that clear. So at the top, what do we have right now? A bunch of gay men, almost exclusively. There are some gay women as well, I've noticed. They sleep with men, they sleep with women, they sleep with children. Just like Rome. It's compulsory. It appears to be in certain clubs in this world, if you're elite, and they invite you, it's compulsory you do what we do, and we want to see you do it. Because then we use it against you later. When we need something. Plus, obviously there is some link. And again, we learn this from what we've seen in the world, one. But two, recently, again, I gave you a presentation on the Freemasonic men. Who again went in all the different clubs throughout his life, and he was obviously looking, searching for something. He probably thought, if he gets in the right place, the right tribute to Satan, I'll get what I want. It never happened. And he explained how a certain level that it was exposed to him, that part of the ritual part, a very integral, important part, is touching children. And I'm sure other things involving children, which I will not say out loud. I'm sure. What I'm trying to say is traditionally, throughout thousands of years, it appears certain clubs that involve worshiping the devil require that you hurt children. That's obvious. So it's the devil's bread and butter. It's what he expects of his children. To hurt children. You understand that by now, I hope. It's an integral part of all this. And it's exactly how the old Romans were. The elite Roman men. Nothing was off limits. Children, women, men. Whatever you want. We have that same thing now. Rome ended. Precisely for the same reasons we're about to. And the same types of people were in charge. And yes, Leon and Donnie and all those Doge people, you will all burn in fucking hell, you starved children. There's no way to spin that. There's no way to PR your way out of that. I see a lot of you are learning that. You all got so used to PRing your way out of things. Public relations, talking points, spinning it. I'm noticing a lot of you are seeing that doesn't work anymore. Mr. Langley, I can tell, is just panicking. Leon as well. You want to perpetrate abject evil upon us, Mr. Langley and Leon Scum and Donnie Shipeggs and all of you, and you are surprised when we have utter fucking contempt for you, and you become a pariah. That's amazing. I know so many of evil men like you, Mr. Langley, for so many decades, we just allowed it. We didn't really vent the rage. That time is over. Mr. O'Leary learned that. Everyone thinks he's a cunt on this planet now. That bothers him. He used to be able to just bullshit his way through everything. Mr. Langley as well, he's so shocked right now. The cunts that gave the college speeches about AI to students that won't get a job because of AI. Simply because they were paid or they are invested in AI. Only reason they mentioned it. They were so shocked when the crowd had just abject contempt for their worthless, greedy, scuzzy, treacherous asses. Mr. Langley is getting the same treatment. The head of Axon will get it next. And your names will become synonymous with the devil, peeping Tomery, surveillance, treachery, lying, taking more welfare than God. You will be a pariah for all time. Like the two rock star widows and their families that I talk of all the time. Thinking about that again today, have both of you noticed your pariahs? Both of you. The actress and the gypsy. Have you noticed? No one wants you around. Because they know. And I know. That is why you are pariahs. Everybody knows. Like Mr. Cohen says. Anyway. Let me take another break. It's fucking bullshit. Are you ready for the shock, loves? I know the rubes think only the liberals will get that shock. They're in for a shock. Was only the liberal half of Germany Arsch by the time Hitler shot his worthless self? No, it was all of Germany, cunts. That's why you're stupid. You're too stupid to exist. You're too stupid to have a vote in this country because you voted to end it. Fuck you and die. For me as well, you voted to end it. So doubly fuck you and die. Some water. Fiji is definitely the best. That's why it's the most fucking expensive. Cunts. Okay, the US military has lost more than 25% of its worldwide MQ-9 Reaper drone fleet in the Iran war, with at least 45 Reaper drones lost at a taxpayer cost of over 1.3 billion. For that weapon system alone, Yemen's Houthis have concurrently shot down more than 30 Reaper drones, with a combined total of up to 3.5 billion in taxpayer costs. It appears the Houthis have been equipped. And is that why Peter's not bombing them anymore? Or is he worried about another Iranian volley if he bombs them? Can you believe this? Remember, the Houthis were getting bombed left and right at the beginning of this monstrosity called the End of America in January 2025. Almost right off the bat, the Houthis were getting bombed. So much for that, Mr. Hegseth. They seem to be quite resilient. And you seem to be quite in hiding right now. It appears you've begun increasing your cocaine intake as well. Not a good idea for an alcoholic to start relying on cocaine as well. Very bad idea. Anyway, the Reapers costing between 30 million and 50 each were primarily used over the strait, where they were shot down multiple times, with the aircraft being relatively easy targets for Iran and its proxies. U.S. officials say they were surprised by the precision. Yes, I see that. Bibi, Donnie, Pete, all of you are surprised. The Saudis, UAE, you all thought you'd all conspire against Iran. And it would not cost you. You were wrong. My God, has it cost you? Dubai is dead. And you're dropping off tons of gold and billions of dollars for Donnie. That's what UAE is doing right now. Guess they shouldn't have been part of trying to take Iran out, huh? The Trump admin is now trying to shore up lawmaker support for a $67 billion Iran war supplemental. They just asked for over $1 trillion for the military. Several packages of billions of dollars for this war. Now we're low, and they want $67 billion more. And how much of all those trillions and billions went in Donnie's fucking pocket via kickbacks, via defense contractors? This is what happens when you have people at the top that steal all the money. This is Russia right here. What I told you would happen before you voted for him to go back in. I said this literally. Do you want your country to be Russia? A third world nothing. Because the mobsters at the top stole all the money. That's what's happening right now. Notice we're short on everything, including oil reserves. That means people are pocketing. Due to the catastrophic shortages of almost every part of the military stockpile, that means people are pocketing. Plus, it's super advanced weaponry that you can't make overnight. It will take to 2030 to even get close to back where we were. That's how rare these missiles are and hard to produce. No one has the capacity to quadruple production. I told you that back when Donnie lied about it last year. Bibi's fucked. We're fucked in this war. And the Middle East is fucked. Iran runs shit right now. And that will not change in the near future. But I have something in the end that will show once again the sunglassman was correct and should have opened a psychic shop years ago. Where was I? Almost every part of the military stockpile, including munitions, interceptors, and drones. We're even short on drones. Wow. You know why? We didn't jump on production like Iran did like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. They've been all about it. They were the main manufacturer before Ukraine. Now Ukraine is, I believe. But what I'm trying to say is Iran has been stockpiling these things for a couple decades. The US just started to hop on the drone, whatever, bandwagon. Late. We should have been stockpiling these for 2 decades as well. For war, not to use against us. Not flock drones to kill us and monitor us. Because you'll see them flying around soon too. And you'll be paying for those. Dumbass. And they're very expensive. And then there's a service flock provides. Ridiculously expensive. You're paying that bill too. Every municipality. Remember that when your tire gets ruined in a pothole in your local community, where the money went. U.S. officials say, contrary to Trump's claims, it will be years before stockpiles deplete. They're admitting what I told you 9 months ago. You can't quadruple production. And yeah, there's a real shortage. I told you this a few months ago. I began telling you, I think there's a shortage. No one's bombing. Bibi especially. If Bibi ain't bombing, there's only one reason. He can't. Because Tel Aviv will get erased off the map. That's where we at. These people fucked up royally. They are in an utterly weak position for the next 5 years. What's the answer, class? What did Nikki tell you the answer was? Before stockpiles depleted by the conflict in Iran are reconstituted, even if Congress approves funding. Right. And we jumped on the drone thing late. Very late. So Iran doesn't have these problems. And they got plenty of missiles. They've been stockpiling them for a few decades, too. They knew the U.S. was going to invade at some point, or they were going to get someone else to invade for them. They've done it before. This is insanity. I guess the Israelis sent this guy a check or something. Or he's one of them staunch, super religious, I gotta have the third temple and the glory of Israel and all that. And if a true educated person understands scripture and you get the sense that this end times fervor about Israel and the glory of it and the temple and all that, it's all evil. And, the first day the temple's up, or before it's up, they'll probably sacrifice an animal, and they'll say they're doing that for the glory of God the Father and observing their religion and all that. But the problem is, that's now a satanic activity. Sacrificing an animal. Why? Because Jesus Christ was the last, final, ultimate, worthy sacrifice for all of our sins. Not required to kill an animal now. In fact, if you kill an animal now, you're negating the sacrifice and work of Jesus Christ. Now it's a satanic activity. They will do that. They will negate the sacrifice of Christ in honor of God the Father, in utter contradiction. So that could be what's motivating this guy, or the Israel Adelson and Bibi just got to him, getting Donnie's ear. Here's a nice little check. Here's an envelope. Or he's one of them religious fervor people. U.S. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper is actively pushing for renewed U.S. strikes on Iran. That's fucking insanity. We don't have defensive missiles. No one does. Pushing for renewed U.S. strikes on Iran together with Israel, saying the fighting in Iran must be renewed to attack national infrastructure. So let's commit war crimes now. You have a general, you have a commander, an admiral, and you have the Israelis saying it. What are the Israelis really saying? We want you to bomb them, Donnie. You said you were going to. They don't want to join in. Donnie already said it out loud. If Bibi, if I needed Bibi to help, he'd be right there. No, he wouldn't. That's why he wasn't bombing in the first place. Gas, oil, electricity. That's what they want to hit. What are the Israelis really saying again? We want you to hit it. Because we're out of missiles. Cooper also told IDF senior officials we may very well have no choice but to resume fighting and will need you for joint strikes. Israel says the Trump admin demand last week to close all fronts with Iran is not the plan anymore. Really, Bibi? Bibi bullshitting his ass off. He ain't going to start bombing again. He can't. Jordan can't help with shooting down missiles for much longer or at all. Because they were helping. That's why one of the reasons Israel was so successful with shooting so many down. America was also helping. America told Israel, we can't. We got to use them for us. We don't have enough left to defend you as well. And Bibi's low too. Why he's not bombing? Jordan low or out. So the next volley, son, I keep telling you, major destruction. And they don't have to be nuclear. They can rain missiles down. And they have. The difference between now and then is they had way more interceptor missiles then. They shot most of them down in combination with Jordan and the U.S. Now Iran has destroyed almost every base in the Middle East. Interceptors are low for everyone. No one is bombing Iran. Donnie threatened, pulled back because he don't got no missiles or hardly any. Bibi sat this whole last round out, which is absurd, since he wanted this fucking war. Just want to talk Donnie into it. And now they're going to come back with, you better bomb them. And don't, we might help. You didn't help last time. Look. The United States and Israel are shouting threats from a position of weakness. And they're not actually going to do anything. Unless they escalate. It's the only option. Or surrender and keep paying tribute. Those are the options. They are the only two. Knowing how stubborn Bibi and Donnie are. Look, I mean, they're both cowering in bunkers, afraid Iran's going to destroy them with their missiles. And they don't have the defensive missiles to stop it. Donnie's hiding in food fucking carts. And they dare make threats like they're going to do something? Just because Israel's pissed, they can't bomb. They can't defend their country. Just because they're pissed that Donnie stopped bombing, they're going to make empty threats now? Bibi, if you were able to bomb, you'd be bombing. Threatening to bomb is a joke at this point. Donnie threatening to bomb is a joke. Because we don't have the defensive missiles. If Iran starts sending volleys towards American assets, we're low. Amazing that they got to a commander, they got to an admiral, And they trying to push Donnie to bomb some more. Because they too scared to. This is incredible. Following hellish conditions aboard the U.S. Lincoln, the U.S. is sending the aircraft carrier George Washington to the Middle East to replace the Lincoln. Well, gee, it only took sailors jumping overboard and us finding out about it for this to happen. If we didn't find out about it, this would be happening. Understand that. You know that, right? Right. Which has now been deployed for more than 250 days, setting a record for consecutive days at sea. Right. It's unprecedented. You're not supposed to do that. Men go crazy. Plus the supply thing, the mold, you're at sea. The drinking water situation, the bathroom situation. All of it. The close quarters. It's a boat. There's only so much room. And there's a few thousand on there, I think. Only reason this happened is because we found out about it. The catastrophic conditions include shortages. See what happens when you tell the truth, maggots? You might actually change something. Instead of just letting it get worse. Because of team sports. The catastrophic conditions include shortages of basic supplies. Now, hold on. Before I continue, Donnie probably will punish everyone in the chain of command right down to the lowest. You know, the guy who swaps the deck. Because this information got out and made him look horrible. So he might want retribution against every single person on that boat. I'm not kidding in the slightest. That's how Donnie's mind works. He's worried about how it reflects on him. He could care less about them sailors dying over there. Obviously, they've been at sea longer than anyone ever has in modern military history for America. Shortages of basic supplies. Sailors running out of toothpaste, soap, water, contamination, plumbing issues, deteriorating mental health, deck safety, food shortages, disruptions in the mail system, care packages lost in transit for months. Multiple sailors have tried jumping overboard and attempted suicide. Yeah. George Washington is being escorted by the USS Robert Smalls and USS Shoup. I don't know what that is. Moving westbound together towards the Strait of Malacca. Expected arrival 8 days. Oh, shit. That's the Antichrist. Sailors jumping overboard. How many of them sailors voted for this? How many of their parents voted for this? Or their husbands or wives? Because I read an article about one. It was their husband who jumped off the boat. Kennedy Center board decides to inscribe Trump's name on building. Can you goddamn believe this is what happened? You let that foot in the door. You let Adolf's foot in the door. He never stops. The vote to add, in quotes, restored and renovated by President Donald J. Pedophile is an aggressive test of a judge's order to remove his name. Right. It's a defiance. Talking about test. Again, the Antichrist, man. A court tells him after he attempts to steal the glory of John F. Kennedy, which he's wanted for a long time. He's so jealous. He fucked with the Rose Garden during the first term. That's all over his jealousy of Kennedy. He covets that kind of adulation more than anything in this world. And he never gets it. A judge tells him, you got to take your name off the building, Adolf. He covers it in a tarp so we can't see. Some clever journalists got a few pictures from the side, just behind the tarp, maybe. And we saw a couple letters coming down. And we saw what it looked like when the name was removed. And to this day, that fat, worthless cunt still has a tarp over it. Because that's the level of petty, fat, diapered cunt he is. And now, I mean, it should be embarrassing enough him even putting his name on there and him being chastised by the whole world for it. No, he shreds his dignity further. And thinks up some other cockamamie scheme to get his name on the building in another way. I mean, Jesus Christ. Again, the Antichrist. He's got to be it. I've never seen someone who just covets other people's glory like him. Tries to straight take it. John F. Kennedy, again, I could care less. But John F. Kennedy is a beloved political. They were movie stars, Jackie and John. Beloved political figure in this country. He slaps his name right over his. Because he wants that glory, son. He tears up the garden because he's jealous of that glory. He is the ruiner. He is death. And again, now he's going to put his name on in a different... I mean, I fucking hate you. It's this personality type, which I've never seen to this degree, because he's the Antichrist. It's perfect for the Antichrist, for the qualifications. And as I've watched it play out, and I watched him try and steal the glory of the Pope, and then he did Jesus, I was like, I get it, okay. This is a preview of him attempting to steal the glory of God the Father. I never really looked at the abomination that way. That's the pattern. Only that one event is described. It does not say in the story he's going to render himself as Jesus. It does say he will be considered like a Messiah type figure by some people. It does not say he will repeatedly attempt to take the glory of every famous person, deity, whatever you can think of. It really only mentions that one big event called the Abomination of Desolation. And you have to go back to a different part of the Bible, the Old Testament, to understand what that is and what it means. And what it was in history is someone put a statue of themselves as a pagan god with their face on it in the temple, son. When you do that, you're attempting to deify yourself. You're attempting to take the crown of God the Father, the creator of the fucking multiverse, when you're a worthless ant human who can't even bench press 500 pounds. And God can lift the whole earth with his finger. Plus, it's the highest offense you can commit, pretty much, to say, I'm God. Forget that guy that created the heavens and earth. I mean, big deal. I'm God, damn it. Yeah, there's really nothing more offensive you can do than to literally try and take the crown off God the Father's head. Metaphorically, literally, whatever. You would kind of be inviting the wrath. You would be inviting a chastisement, if not a death. And you'd be challenging God the Father directly. As if you stand a chance. It was just a backdoor way for the devil to get some worship. That will happen again. Either a statue, and Donnie loves himself some Donnie statues. Again, perfect fit. Or he'll say he's God. He turned into heavens and said he's the chosen one. Remember that? I do. Or both, statue and go in there, say I'm God. Again, he already did it with the Pope. Tried to take the glory of Jesus Christ. That was intentional. That was not a mistake. The Pope thing was not a mistake. It was a preview for that abomination. Donnie's tried to take the glory of so many famous people, famous politicians, put himself on Rushmore, on money, on buildings, renders himself as famous or deities. It's a preview for that literal moment, again, described over 1,000 years ago and before, and a moment that took place in history. The final straw was him doing the Jesus one for me. That told me it's definitely going to happen. And of course, when the sunglassman is yelling that this person is the Antichrist, of course, in the apocalypse, they have to render themselves straight up as Jesus Christ, right? Of course. Of course, they got to put out a video with gold statues of them on a Holy Land, right? I wasn't expecting either one of those things to make it that obvious. I was expecting the abomination because it's written. It is not written that he will meme at himself as Jesus Christ on social media before the whole world. Make an actual image of him as Jesus. Very serious. It ain't just internet fun, son. It means something in the spiritual realm and this worthless realm down here. It means something very fucking serious. You don't do it. I wouldn't think of rendering myself as Jesus Christ. Not even as a joke, son. You don't do that. You take in the glory when you do that. Even if you joking the fuck around, you take in the glory, son. You don't want to do that. That's what the abomination of desolation is. Instead of Jesus Christ, God the Father, the even higher crown. Christ even said in Scripture that there's things that God the Father can do and knows that I don't know. God the Father is the highest level. Christ is the Son, the living Word of God, the Word of God incarnate as a man and part God. After a court order to take his name down, he's still trying to put his name on in a different way. That should tell you later on when that temple gets built what's going to happen. Donnie must take the glory of every situation, make every situation about him. Every title of significance, all the way up to the title of Christ, he has rendered himself as. So it's an obvious leap if that temple gets put up for him to somehow want to glorify himself, because he will not be able to stand God the Father being glorified and not him. Or John Kennedy being glorified, or Jesus being glorified and not him. He wants that glory. And he'll render himself as the person just to have a little piece of it. Wanted the glory of the Pope again. Wants the glory of Lincoln, Washington, major generals in U.S. history. Wants his face on Rushmore. Wants his face on money. Has his face on digital currency. They're making coins with his face. They've been selling Cyrus coins for 10 years. King Cyrus on one side, Donnie on the other. Because the Israelis, the BB Israelis, not all of them, probably don't really believe he's any type of Messiah or actually a King Cyrus, but they know he's their conduit to get to that temple. Like King Cyrus was the conduit back in the day. That's all they care about. And they're just as evil as Donnie. What they are doing in Gaza, man, I don't even want to talk about it. The script has been flipped. A sect of Jews that would have been executed back in Hitler's day, they are the Nazis now. And they working with the Nazis, which is Donnie and Vlad. And they doing Nazi shit, son. Again, not all Israelis, not all Israelis in government. Bibi's Israelis are doing that. And his young troops that are indoctrinated from birth to think a certain way and to commit atrocities and to not care about it. Anyway, Donnie wants all glory and all titles. I told you that. He showed you he wants the glory of Jesus Christ. Only one more to go, like I said. You're getting a preview of that moment. God is showing you. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, he gonna do it. He's doing it right now with the glory of the Pope, the glory of Christ, a literal deity, Son of God, Savior of humanity. He dares put his head on that body. I can't express again what an offense to God that is. So you've seen the future. After what I just described to you and what you've seen and what Donnie has done. If that temple were up tomorrow, what do you think Donnie would do? Would he make it about him? Would he render himself on social media as God the Father? Maybe it's as simple as that. To God, that would be the same thing. But I think it'll be more than that. He'd be there. He'd make the event about him as much as possible. And he might just be sick enough. Or he might think that's his moment. For him and his imp. To say God the Father ain't God, me and my imp are God. And we've been waiting to say that for thousands of years. Anyway, this person's talking about the shock gloves. There's no other use for these other than to torture the people ISIS harassing and abducting. Yeah, they're torture gloves. That's what I call them. That's the intent. The guy who invented them, the whole market, everything. It's a torture device from some fucking science fiction, futuristic dystopian novel, except we're living in it. No other use but to torture people. Yeah. Yeah. The cruelty, the torture, the murder, the rapes, the pedophilia, it's the point. The evil. Donnie letting all the demons out of jail. It's the point. You in the devil's time. I told you. It's the apocalypse. And shock gloves should fucking prove that to you. I didn't see that one coming, son. Bad enough they shooting women in the face and men in the back on the street. We talking shock glove? What the fuck is it? Judge Dredd now? What the fuck is this? Blade Runner? Star Wars? 1984, the novel? Holy fucking shit, devil. You're being a bit obvious with this one, ain't you? You must be real pissed off. Don't worry, you're going to be dead soon. And I won't be laughing. You imp cunt. Charcoal cunt. Yeah, the only thing those gloves are to torture, and Donnie's about to take the midterms. By take the midterms, I mean not accept the results and go full Reich. So they need the shock gloves out before that time. I know it's better than a shock glove, a bullet. The most heavily armed citizens on Earth are allowing pedophilic robber barons to drain our water, poison our food, rape and kidnap our children, execute our neighbors in the streets, bomb and starve children in other countries with our money, openly steal from us, deny us health care, housing, and food while making bigger profits than any time in world history. Home of the brave, guess not, right? You know why their guns are on the shelf? Because they like what they see. And it hasn't come to their doorstep yet. It will. And they will burn because they like what they see. If it was Barack Obama doing all this stuff, they would have been tried to kill him. But when it's a chance at a Nazi Reich, where hate is the religion, they down with that, boy. They love it. Obviously, all the guns are still on the shelf. Therefore, you will burn hot. It will not be fun. Damn, I'm still not at the end? What the fuck? I had way less than... All right, I got about 5 more. UAE state-owned oil company, ADNOC, announces Iran struck 2 of its vessels while transiting the strait a few hours ago. What, UAE? You thought you gave them some American gold and American money for Donnie, and you thought they just let you go through? Oh, no, son, you got to pay the toll. They tried to sneak some boats through on Iran because they dropped them gifts off, that tribute. They thought it was okay. Oh, no, son. You still got to call and ask permission and pay that bill. According to the lying they told in the article, that was Iran's money. I know it wasn't. I know that 2 tons of gold wasn't theirs. I know that money wasn't theirs. I know where it came from. This brings the total number of UAE ADNOC vessels struck by Iran to 18. Since the start of the war. 18. Tell me Iran don't run shit. That's just UAE boats, son. 18 since the start of the war. One small country. Tell me they don't run shit. And UAE, you wanted Iran to be fucked with? You got your wish, son. Now you're dropping gold off. Dubai's a goddamn ghost town. You're dropping billions of dollars off for Donnie, and your boat's still getting sunk. Jesus. Oh, and yeah, just because you drop that gold and that money on it, don't mean you get to go through the strait with a couple, sneak boats. Oh, no, son. That's not how it works. And Iran didn't forget about you folks. They pissed. And they know you wanted them taken out. And they know the Saudis wanted them taken out. They know Jordan wanted them taken out. They know Qatar wanted them taken out. That's why all your shit's blown up. That's why you lost 18 boats worth millions each. Damn, Iran is fucking shit up. Again, this is one country, that 18 number. A small country. Wife of sailor who jumped off the USS Lincoln says she was not contacted for 4 days. I bet they don't want to, that getting out. They want to sweep that under the rug, son. And keep starving the soldiers that are going to come round me up later. It was handled very poorly because they didn't inform me and they didn't want me to know, and they're just trying to cover it up. Of course, it's the Hegseth Donnie shitbag Satan administration. I mean, I'm sure we didn't get the real number on the dead either. Or the real number on how many people tried to jump off the ship. Or the real number of injured, or any real numbers of anything, because they've utterly lost. It's totally fucked. Soldiers are dead. Equipment is gone. Everyone's scared fucking shitless, except Iran, who's still blowing up boats. I mean, it just couldn't have gone any worse. And son, it's about to go to a worse place. I was tired and I wasn't even going to come on. I came on just to tell you this last thing. I was like, fucking, of course, I got to be right about goddamn everything I fucking hated. And by everything, I mean only the negative, horrible, evil shit. In Australia, they're trying to pull this bullshit. Transport for NSW is the account. It's got a gray check mark. So is that government for Australia? We're trialing AI animal detection and smart signage system to limit wildlife vehicle strikes. As if they give a fuck about that, son. Animals are detected and drivers are notified through smart road signage that lights up to warn. I'm not reading the rest. Yeah, that's a real high priority in society, making sure we don't hit these animals in the street. I'm sure that's the only reason they're doing it. Ruby says, the person that posted this is them soft launching, bringing flock-style surveillance to Australia. Yep! It's the same thing they did with the microchip here. They got it in all our pets. They wanted it in us, though. This close. Yeah, this is not a high priority in the world, especially right now. Making sure we don't hit animals in the roadway with, where it's pinging your phone or sending messages to you. I don't even know what it's going to do. Look, it's obviously a ploy to get some smart devices on your roadways. I told you this was global, right? And that's where it was going global way back in the beginning. January 2025. And before. I told you no matter what country you're in, you're not safe. It's going to go global. The Reich. It will extend out from here. This is a piece right here for Australia. A global system is described in the end. And Donnie wants the world the same way his hero Adolf Hitler wanted the world. He wanted to make Berlin the capital of the world. Died before that happened. I know, I wouldn't want you to hit a kangaroo or something in Australia there. You can have a whole set of smart devices on your road to make sure you don't hit animals. I'm sure that's what it's really for. Tom, they bring the misery that is Tom Homan out. For what? What did they bring him out for? Mr. Bags of Cash in back fucking alleys. To defend, son? Shock gloves. Tom, what if I put Satan right next to you? And ask you to defend the merits of Satan to the world, like you're doing with the shock gloves. Could you do it? I think you could. Especially if I had a bag of cash in my hand. Again, that hypothetical or that metaphor I gave you a while back. This theater where we all stand in a huddled, scared mass as there's an axe in between us and a madman in a shitty diaper and orange face. He keeps walking closer to the axe. And we say, hey, why are you walking closer to the axe? No reason. Moves a little closer. What are you doing? Why are you getting closer to the axe? No reason. Then he picks up the axe. Whoa, whoa, why are you picking up the axe? Oh, I just wanted to hold it. It's for your safety. Then he's stepping towards you. What are you doing? Why are you coming closer with the axe? We all pretend we don't know what's coming. We don't know the intent behind it. We all just normalize it all. It's been this theater for 10 years. It's been this theater since 1945 with the right-wing grift machines, where it has always wanted to take us. And the CIA. But it's been this theater, especially the last 10 years, we've got the literal madman that wants to take over the world and will for 5 minutes. Who just picked up the axe. And now took 5 steps towards us. And says, don't worry about it. For your safety. Now he's raising the axe over his head. What are you doing? Looks like you're about to strike us with the axe. Oh no, I would never do that. But it looks like you're about to hit us with the axe. Why does it look that way if you're not going to do it? Then they hit you with the axe. And you act surprised. This theater, again, for 10 years, we as they pick up the axe, as they get closer to it, as they are swinging it at our head, we're still giving them the benefit of the doubt. We're still semi-normalizing it, not calling it straight up what it is, not calling for all of them to be arrested. Right now. They want to kill us, son. They have. Now they're about to put shock gloves on, and they got this fat fuck who takes bags of cash in back alleys defending the merits of shock gloves. This criminal who takes bags of cash. Fat, miserable fuck who no one wants around. Can you imagine being the human being getting before the world defending shock gloves that you know will be deployed on the masses? It's a straight up torture device. Of course they bring Holman out to defend it, my God. So they're serious. They're on news channels defending this. This ain't just some rumor or it might happen. No, they're serious. They want it deployed. Why? Midterms. That's why. Son, when we talk in shock gloves in 2026 that we've never seen before, we talk in the end. Okay? I want to be real clear about that. The goddamn end. We talk in the Antichrist. Verified, son. Guaranteed. Shock gloves should fucking prove it if the camps and shooting women in the face didn't. And the pedophilia. Oh, Burr. You got fat fuck Holman who takes money from back out. You got other government officials. You got the press all telling us that with our fucking money, they're going to buy some fucking torture device from a fucking science fiction movie set in the year 4000. To give to masked men that have murdered U.S. citizens, we watched it, to use on us. And they defending it, son, so they intend to do it. Yeah, apocalypse, Antichrist, Satan. That's where you at right now. I hope you get it. Shock gloves should prove it to you, son. I'm even surprised by this. I mean, shit. Why don't Donnie just put an upside down cross on his forehead every morning? Because he's making it about that obvious that he's the fucking Antichrist. And I didn't think it'd be that obvious. Holy fuck. Shock glove obvious, son. Oh, did I mention I hate you? You know who you are. We're at the end. And before I read this, I'm going to smoke a fag. I hate you in advance before I read this. I've been telling you this for weeks. I've been telling you this for months. There's only one place for it to go, son. And for the Antichrist, it's obligatory. Otherwise, why would the man have to step in? Why would the days be shortened because nothing would survive? Why would 1/3 of the earth be fucking useless? So, son, it's fucking obligatory, okay? Again, why I've been yelling for 10 years as you little children played your little fucking team sport game. Thought it was all funny and shit. Wait till the fallout, son. That's what I was thinking about while you thought it was funny. Okay, you ready for this? I hate being right about everything, man. Senior Pentagon official Elbridge Colby says the U.S. is, quote, currently reviewing the strategy for the specific and potential use of nuclear weapons. That's a quote. And I fucking hate you. As part of a, quote, nuclear strategy review. Yeah, I bet. Since nothing else is working, right, assholes? Oh my God, I hate you. And you look, behind the scenes, when a hurricane happens, Donnie's talking nukes. You fucking cunts. So, of course, if we involved in a conflict, Donnie thinking nukes, right? All the time. Not just today, not recently. Since this began, son, he been threatening it over and over. Oh, a civilization will die today. Yeah, because you're the Antichrist who's going to hit him with a nuke. You left that part out. Just say it, man. You're not fooling me with, your little old man act you do all the time. I know the evil inside you. I know what you really want. I know what you really believe. He's dying to shoot one off, motherfuckers. Why I hate you, why I've been yelling for 10 years. That is the danger of putting a madman in charge, because you want to own the fucking libs. Because that's what your daddy taught you, right-wing machine taught you, and what Vlad taught you. There's also a reason they've been stoking this "it's okay to kill liberals since I was born," you fucking cunts, to separate the society in two for this moment right now. And the power of the right-wing grift machine up until now. Any cunt who thinks it's okay to kill their fellow U.S. citizens because they don't like their political views? Or they're gay or something? When 3/4 of Christian conservative men are fucking gay? Jed, even though I don't like you, I don't agree with you, I don't want to kill you, son. Again, that's the difference between me and you, us and you. It is why you were never here, Jed. It is why you were dead before you were born. And there's a reason you folks are susceptible to this. Why are you susceptible? You're of the devil. That's simple. Maybe you'll decide not to be one day. I don't know. Has no effect on my life whatsoever or afterlife. Means nothing to me. I don't even know you, son. Only for you. You decide. You want to save yourself? Or you want to go down with the imp and your hate? You got till the mark comes around to decide. That's coming soon. That's your last moment without having to make a choice. It's your last moment to save yourself. But back to nuclear Armageddon. U.S. Strategic Command head Admiral Richard Cornell, of course his last name's Cornell. Of course it is. As the Department of War is looking at ways of expanding options, exactly what Crazy Nikki has been saying for several months now. Maybe a year. There's nowhere else for it to go. The bombing is not working. These are psychopaths. Bibi Netanyahu, Pete Hegseth, Donnie Shitbags. They got big plans. That involves glory for them. And they're the laughing stock of the world, and they're hiding in bunkers right now. Donnie hiding in food carts. Only one way to save face. Only one way to crack this nut. With sociopaths. With psychopaths that want to run the world. With the Antichrist. Assholes. It's obligatory, son. If he the Antichrist it is. And unfortunately, he is. Or you wouldn't be seeing my pretty face right now. I'd be fucking sleeping. Expanding options is a quote. We know what that fucking means. Available to Trump and providing the decision space for any conceivable escalation scenario. We know what that means. Just say it, man. You fucking pussy cunts. Cornell says this spans from, quote, non-kinetic, again, meaningless fucking words, non-kinetic / conventional capabilities to, if you would envision, some kind of limited nuclear exchange to high-end escalation. You mean a goddamn nuclear weapon, you fucking cunt pussy. It don't matter how delicately you word it, you still gonna burn in fucking hell! Cunt! I fucking hate you. You know who the fuck you are. Nuclear Armageddon's pretty much guaranteed since you fucking handed the keys to the fucking Antichrist. Why smart people like me were begging you not to do it. But you knew better, son. Only one place for this to go. They saying it now. Give Trump more options. Yeah, we know what the fuck that means, cunts. Options that involve fallout, blowing around in the wind across the whole world. That's what options we talking, right, assholes? On top of drought shutting down nuke plants. On top of Vlad hitting nuke plants. On top of Bibi hitting Iranian nuke plants. On top of 10,000 data centers sucking up all the power and water. Nuke plants having to be shut down. Son, it's the end. It's got to end. It can't continue like this. You understand that, right? It's on the path to under 10 years climate destruction. Under 10, son. I can tell by what I'm seeing. That I don't even talk about. I don't have time. Under 10 years, the climate's done on this in this world. Most of the world will be unlivable. Most of the coast will be gone. There's going to be a food shortage by next year. Thanks to the heat, data centers, all just a whole formula. Tariffs, war, shutting straits down, heat killing crops. It going to the bad place at the speed of fucking light. All that shit it says in that story. And the nuke's inevitable, son, you know it. They saying it outright. Now they want Iran to see this and get scared. It ain't scaring Iran. It's scaring me, though. Because I know this cunt's going to shoot one off at some point. So this might just be propaganda to scare motherfuckers. I don't know, because they ain't got no other play. No other threat works. Even bombs don't work. And now they short on missiles again. Everyone's afraid to bomb. There's only one place to go, son. with sociopaths, with the devil, with the Antichrist. To the nuclear weapon, it's inevitable. He is the Antichrist, therefore, it is inevitable. That's why I hate you. I've been telling you about this for fucking months. It's the only play they have if they want to save face. Or if they want to just even to be able to claim they won. If they don't do it, I'll be surprised. And if they don't do it in this conflict, like I said before, it'll just be a different one. Inevitable. Why I was yelling for 10 years why I hate you. I'm so sick of being right about all this. And now we had shot gloves, and we talking nukes. I fucking hate you. You know who you is. Don't take the mark. It won't be worth it, son. It'll be the end of you forever, and it'll be as if you never lived. Your name will not be in the book of life. It'll blot it out. It means you never lived. Don't do it, son. You got till that moment to decide. Once you get there, if you take it, it's over for you. Forever. If you don't take it, you might die. Or you might starve. And I don't know how long from the time the mark is introduced till the straight up end. Because there's something I'm not seeing. Because again, I really, it's hard for me to understand God expecting grown men to watch their wife and children starve. So could it be a short time frame? Could it be 2 days? Could it be a week, a month? In other words, you would only have to endure for that long. And it'd be hard, but it can be done. Or you get executed right away. But no matter what, the lake is worse, son. You don't want that. Everyone still has time until that moment when they offer you that thing. Even a mass Gestapo you could turn right now. You have until that moment. And it's coming soon. Good luck, son. Don't take the mark. Have a wonderful evening. Please hit the PayPal or Zelle. I'd really appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening.